Everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. Today is a very interesting day for Woody Guthrie fans because there is a new release, Woody at Home, Volume 1 plus Volume 2. And what is this? Well, basically, this release are home demos by Woody Guthrie from the early 50s, and he made this with a home recorder with a single microphone, playing guitar, singing songs, and I guess if you listen to the acoustics, most were just done in his living room. Now, Woody Guthrie as an artist is very, very fascinating. He is a major influence on loads of artists. For example, Johnny Cash, Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen did a wonderful cover of This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land. It's actually on the Bruce Springsteen live box set 75 to 85, and that may have been the first time I consciously heard a Woody Guthrie song, because Springsteen, obviously as an ode to Guthrie, introduced it as a Woody Guthrie song. But the biggest influence Woody Guthrie had on popular music has been through another figure, obviously, Bob Dylan. And anyone who has seen the recent Timothée Chalamet biopic knows that Guthrie is very present in that film. And as a matter of fact, Guthrie's soul, although a relatively quiet part, has always been roaming around the world and the records of a young Bob Dylan. And in this current film, in this recent film, his character does. He's there, and he's always been this fascinating, mythical figure in the world of Dylan and in the world of folk, of course. So writing brilliant songs, having This Machine Kills Fascists on his guitar, Guthrie has always been an icon. And now we come to, for me, the difficult part. Because when you get a release like this, home demos, and what kind of way and shape are you going to value it? I'm not a Woody Guthrie, not a diehard fan. I have found one record of his, which is This Land Is Your Land, which is not the original title. It is a French reissue of the record. Bonfile Dam songs, Bonfile Dam and other Columbia River songs from 1966. Great recording. The quality is not, it's not spectacular. It's not a record that I get back to constantly, and that's, as a matter of fact, with someone like Woody Guthrie or somebody like Lead Belly, always difficult, because their main dominance in the music scene was not at a time in which albums were the main format. The most interesting Woody Guthrie recordings, when you take a look at Rate Your Music, and I've been listening to some digital files of those online, are from 1940. I'm never going to find 1940 recordings or be able to play them on my system. So also the thinking was different, and I'm very much an album kind of person. So when there is a release like Woody at Home Volume 1 and 2, and we're talking about a real proper album, we're talking about 22 tracks and messages that Woody Guthrie included, basically sometimes introductions or things he wanted to let the listener of the tapes know. You're going much more to a kind of final format that I'm accustomed to, or well, this has that final format. Comparing what I just listened to with, for example, this record, it sounds a lot better, which is really remarkable for a set of home recordings. But then again, if you take a look at the release page of Woody at Home, it is not that remarkable. I'm opening the tab here. Tab of the website. I'm not gonna invite anyone to be drinking on my account. These recordings were never intended for commercial release. They were found We're talking about 1951 and 1952. And they obviously state, now thanks to the leaps made in technology, Woody's voice, ideas, and recordings are guiding and candid voice. Which is a strange sentence. Anyway, leaps in major technology. I am really astonished by the way these recordings sound. Obviously, the quality is not spectacular, but it's better than the record I have here, which I believe is a studio record. So they did clean stuff up, but they did not clean it up as if it sounds like it is a studio album. As a matter of fact, what I really like is during the biggest thing that man has ever done, or no, it's a different song. Actually, during This Land Is Your Land, you can hear what I assume is Woody Guthrie's wife, because you can hear there's an audible distance between where he is recording and the coughing, the sound coming from, I believe, a kitchen or something like that. So there is coughing in these tapes. You hear the acoustics of a room, and also, beside the pure sound quality, you can hear that he's often singing to himself. Sometimes even the tone and the intensity of what he's doing is so soft and so almost whisper-like that I get the idea he must have been singing in the house while his wife was sleeping. And that makes for a real different experience in the world of Woody Guthrie. He's not as energetic, charismatic, though it's obvious this is a man who has something to say, as on other recordings. These are private tapes, yet when you listen to the way things are played and the way he does guitar, there's sometimes a certain roughness, and I sometimes think, how are you gonna, when you do this in the rhythm, how are you gonna bring it home? And somehow he always does. There's this certain skillfulness in the playing, in an approach to rhythm, and which is just astonishing. Though he's clearly not trying to impress anyone, he's clearly just trying to get the songs across. You get these spoken messages here. There are good versions of certain songs, and overall, I think this is a fascinating release. Yet, my quest for an ultimate Woody Guthrie record, the one you'll put on when people come over and they're interested, who is this man, the one that has all the conviction and the talent to convince people, this is not that record. It's also not a home record like the recent Nick Drake Making of Five Leaves Left, in which you really hear a certain process and development. There's a narrative being told in that box. These are home demos, and they're interesting and they're good, but they have perhaps a larger historical or archival value than necessarily this is the Woody Guthrie release that I know of, or the release of this year that any music fan should start to listen to. It's interesting. So, I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.